Oh, great.
Thank you.
Terrific. So I think we're recording, and so it looks like I can see the thing moving. So the level of volume should be good. I think we're in great shape.
How are you today?
I'm good. I feel like I've been just bouncing between one thing and another this morning.
You're so up.
Yeah.
These students are following the first rule of student success: come to class.
That's right.
You four are setting a good example for everybody.
Right.
And Melissa, because even though she was ill, she's at least reporting in,
Right.
you know, and whether it's a phone call, an email, or coming to class, we have to keep in communication, I think.
This week is midterms, right?
This week is midterms. It's week 8, and we have 16 weeks in the semester, maybe 17 sometimes. I think this time it's 17. So, good.
Yeah.
All right.
We're actually going to be working on midterm grades for this class tomorrow.
So the most important thing that, the only really big announcement I want to make before Pat gets started is just simply, please make sure that you've turned in all of your assignments by tonight, because tomorrow we're going to be doing midterm grades. And anywhere you look in the grade book where there was a due date and you don't have either a grade or a green exclamation point, put something in there to bring up that green exclamation point. If you've handed in a written assignment like you're doing now, put completed or handed in class or some note in there so that we see a green exclamation point, because then if we have a problem and we can't find it, we'll at least be able to call you and we'll at least be able to take that into consideration. But if we see nothing, and I looked at it last night and I see nothing in lots of cases. I don't know if it's necessarily any of you, but
It could be me.
I see just
I
enough.
have some things that I need to grade.
Yeah.
So
So just to make sure that you're going to get credit for everything that you've turned in, put the word completed or something in there to let us know that you've done your assignments. Blackboard is our main communication. So that's all I have.
okay. Well, also you have some Butterfingers over here. If you
Oh,
want.
well, they don't get those until they earn them.
Ah.
What those Butterfingers are for are these critical thinking exercises. And yeah, you'll get a Butterfinger, but you got to do this first.
Okay. Well, today's class is going to be, I think the syllabus said be healthy and crime and safety and all that kind of stuff. Well, I decided that the theme of that was really surviving and thriving. And surviving has to do with surviving incidents that might happen on campus and knowing what to do to survive those things. And then the other half, the thriving, really has to do with maintaining a healthy life and having a balanced, well-balanced life, going beyond just surviving but into thriving in your life. So that's what kind of our themes for today are. Because you've all heard of the incidents across the country on campuses in the last several years of violent crimes that have happened. And so campuses are being more proactive about making sure that we know what to do when those kinds of things happen. And God forbid that anything like that happen, but you plan for it and then you don't have to worry about it. So the first part, we're going to watch a video that's on our website. If I can get it to go to the next slide. There we go. And this should take me to the, if I click on the link, it should take
Yeah,
me.
you should
No.
if it doesn't, you might if you go back one,
Yeah.
and you right click on it, it might say open a new window.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, we can go there pretty.
What do I need to do?
Yeah, all we need to do is just end show for a minute until and then we'll just go there manually real fast. Yeah, and we'll just go to either Internet Explorer or that's good, and then just type it in there. Yeah, that should work. Campus safety. Whoop, you got campus safety.
There we go.
The test things.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I did these by hand, so they're all saved.
Okay,
together.
this website,
Thanks.
campus safety website on the Missouri State West Plains website has a lot of resources about crime and safety. One of the things as a university we're required to report crime statistics. That report is here. We have to do that yearly. So that's here to know. There's information here about what to do in case of tornadoes or all different things like that. There are posters all over the buildings about what to do in case of emergencies. So I encourage you to peruse through this site and see here's procedures, different procedures to do depending on what building you're in, that kind of thing. Of course, the new Student Rec Center is a FEMA shelter, so if you can get to it, that's the best place to be on campus for a storm. But if not, every building has a safe place to be. So, but we are going to watch this safety video, and it deals with violent crime on campus. And like I said, you know, you never expect these things to happen, but it's better to be prepared and know what to do than not. So we're going to watch this video. It takes about 20 minutes.
And while she's bringing the video up, if you guys see a crime happening on campus, who do you report it to? Where do you go? Dr. Herb Lundy, his office is right next to the academic dean's office. He's the dean of student services right here in this building. Run in to see Dr. Lundy and he will take care of any problems.
Why is it not coming up? It works. I watched it. I'm not sure what it's doing. Relog in. Maybe we won't watch it. Well, shoot. No, that wasn't funny, actually. Don't shoot. Okay. I have a weird sense of humor. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to watch it. I really want you to watch this video. And there's no assignment attached to it. There's no points attached to you watching it. So if you don't watch it, you know, you're going to be okay. But it's a really good video about what to do in a situation like that. At the end of that video, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. At the end of that video, it talks about, they talk about prevention, being aware of you know, the young man at Virginia Tech, signs, you know, that somebody's disturbed, you know, so they talk briefly at the end about preventing those kinds of things. And those kinds of things aren't always preventable, but I think that if the next part of what we're going to talk about in class, thriving, that if you can get a handle on having a balanced life, you're less likely to go that direction into violent tendencies. And so these two, in my mind, connect. Surviving those kinds of things, but learning how to go beyond that into thriving. I couldn't get the video to work. It just was blank.
The video was blank.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it.
Okay, well, I have some campus safety. I'll try to get it to work later.
Okay.
As soon as you have a time when it would be good
Okay.
to see the video.
I thought I'd go ahead and go through the other half.
Yeah, I think I've got another way I can bring it up.
All right. So, going beyond surviving into thriving, finding out how to maintain a well-balanced life. This to me is what life is all about. What you want to strive for as an adult, as a college student, as an adult, and we're going to talk about the different aspects of what it means to have a well-balanced life. And I think it is possible, even as a college student, to have a balanced life, at least to try to get there. So that's what we're going to talk about. The balanced life. 5 areas that we're going to talk about to maintaining a balanced life. Emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being. And I'm not going to spend any time today on financial well-being because you've had some other activities that have dealt with that. Cash course. And so I'm not going to really talk about that other than to say I think sometimes we think about financial well-being as having enough money to do whatever we want to in our lives. I don't view that as financial well-being. Financial well-being is, to me, having enough to take care of your needs and maybe a few of your wants and taking care of others in your life. That to me is where we need to get with financial well-being. It doesn't mean, I don't think, having everything, having the biggest house or the best car or whatever. There's a place to get to, and it may not be that. Okay. So first of all, emotional well-being. I'm going to read this to you. Excuse me if I read slides to you. I'm going to read slides today. Emotional well-being refers to the positive or negative feelings or emotions that a person experiences. Emotional well-being is a general measure of how you feel. So, what things influence your emotional well-being? Setting goals. That can affect your emotional well-being. If you've set challenging but achievable goals, that will have a positive effect on your emotional well-being as a person. Visualize yourself graduating from college. That's a challenging but achievable goal for you. The day I walked across the stage and got my diploma, I heard my kids go, "Yay, Mom," and that was a wonderful feeling. Visualize that. Visualize those that are important to you in your life cheering for you as you cross the stage. Set goals like that are challenging but achievable, and that will have a positive effect on how your emotional well-being. Things that you do for others. And while you're in college, it can seem like you're being kind of self-centered because this is focused on you. And that's okay, because the end goal is having an education that will allow you to help others, or whatever, the other people in your life, important people, or a job that you can help others. But there are things that you can do for others while you're a college student. There's all kinds of activities and small ways that you can give of yourself. That has an emotional effect, positive effect on your well-being. And believing that you have strong relationships. To me, that was an interesting way to say this. Not the fact that you have a strong relationship, but believing that you have strong relationships will have a positive effect on your emotional well-being. And as we go through those different aspects of having a balanced life, you'll see having strong relationships pop up several times in different areas. So I encourage you, as you are developing relationships with others, you already have relationships with your parents, you have relationships with friends, significant other people in your life, your spouse or a significant other person, that you make good choices. And even if you've already made choices in some of those areas, that you make a commitment to work on that relationship and not run away from relationships if they get tough. This year, my husband and I are celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary. We got married when we were 19. And I mean, you look, that doesn't always happen. Teenagers getting married. We thought we knew it all, but we didn't, obviously. And there have been really good times, and there have been really tough times. But we made a commitment to each other to work on our relationship, even in the midst of tough times, and not walk away. And I think that that is more valuable than maybe what looks like greener grass someplace else. It's not always the case. There are cases where you do need to walk away, but I encourage you to develop strong relationships and work and make commitments in that area.
I have to interject one thing just before we go to
Yes.
the next slide, and that's simply the idea that you can't control things that happen outside of you, but you can control how you react
That's right.
to them. So my boss, Kathy Boyce, always has a great saying, and that is, she's not going to let somebody else determine her happiness. She will define her happiness. A simple example would be somebody cuts you off on the road, you get into a road rage incident where you're so mad, or do you just say, that person's having a bad day, let it go. You're way better off emotionally yourself to just let it go.
That's right.
So that's just a thought.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. And your relationships, it's a two-way street. The other person has to make those kinds of commitments and to work as well for it to be a strong relationship. So, and you're right. You can't let that other person determine. You can, but it's better when you don't.
You were talking about college being somewhat selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do a research paper for sociology and realized that because I come from poverty, that the chances of me going to school are very limited. So by me going to college, I'm changing not just my kids' future, but generations to come. That is a huge help when I feel selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that I'm not just affecting my children,
That's right.
I'm affecting their children and their children. So it's not that selfish.
No, it may appear on the surface, but it really is not.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
right. You're
it's
absolutely
definitely
right.
worth it.
You're absolutely right. So maintaining a positive emotional well-being, learning to express your feelings appropriately. What does that look like? Make sure when something's bothering you that you express it. You don't keep it in. That those that are close to you, you share with them what's going on. You're honest about your feelings with yourself and with others. Think before you act. This is goes back to what David was saying about reacting to what others have done. Stop and think, count to 10 before reacting. And keeping a balance, and that means with your relationships, making sure you're maintaining those and not neglecting those relationships. So those are aspects of emotional well-being. So mental well-being, what does that mean? Positive mental well-being. Our mental health can be positive or negative. Positive activities that you engage in, being able to adapt to change. Change happens. We get older every day. That means we're changing all the time. Change happens. The people in your lives change. The things you do with your life is going to change. Right now you're in college, no, you're going to get a job, or you already have a job. Things change. Change is inevitable. So how you adapt to change affects your mental well-being. And then again, positive, healthy relationships. That's a theme all the way through this. Has a major effect on your overall well-being. Threats to maintaining a positive mental well-being. Stress. What are the kind of stressors that we have in our lives? Midterms.
Deadlines in general, maybe?
Yeah.
Homework.
My biggest stressor right now is my new job. And trying to, that time management stuff we went over last time, I was preaching to myself. I've been trying to think about that and reflecting on that. The new job is I love it. I love what I'm doing, but it's stressing me right now, trying to manage that. So stress is our response to challenging or threatening situations. It's a physical reaction that we have to an event that we consider a crisis.
And by the way, we might not get to it today, but in the Blackboard contents area, there's a little YouTube video on how to relieve stress, and you guys might want to watch that on your own sometime. It's pretty cool.
Here's just a few things that can cause stress for you in college right now. A change in your sleeping habits, maybe. Weird breaks can cause stress. What do I do with my time? Maybe change in your eating habits, new responsibilities, those kinds of things, along with all the other stuff going on in your life. And what's the answer to handling that kind of stress? Time management. It really is a key to a lot of what causes our stress. Speaking from experience. Spiritual well-being, and this can be different things to different people, and but again, it has to do with our relationship with others, with our relationship with ourselves, how we see ourselves, and those kinds of things give us a sense of identity and give us a sense of wholeness, satisfaction, contentment. That goes back to maybe what I was speaking to about financial well-being, being content, understanding, just having an inner peace about your life, finding that purpose and direction in your life. And there are different things that you can do to maintain your spiritual well-being. For me, several years ago, this made a huge difference in my spiritual life. I went to a ladies' retreat, and the message throughout that weekend that just came clear to me was, do not run aimlessly. And what that meant to me in my life at the time was that I needed to take time every day to stop, to meditate, to pray, and center myself. Whether it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, I needed to do that to maintain my spiritual well-being. And I had spurts of that throughout my life, but not on a continual basis. And I made a commitment to do that, and I've done that now for several years, and it's made a huge difference in my own peace, my own sense of wholeness and contentment with life. We've had major things happen in our lives in the last few years. My husband lost his job. I changed where we lived. Just a lot of different things have happened, and they weren't easy things. I mean, they were stressful things, but there was this constant inner sense of peace throughout all of that, and I believe it had to do with making that commitment to do that in my own life. And I encourage you to find what that is for you. Even as a college student, take 5 minutes before everybody else gets up in the morning, or 5 minutes after everybody else has gone to bed, and find that place to do that for yourself.
And my only comment there would be, don't omit this one, no matter how you define it for yourself.
Yes.
Whatever you define as your spiritual well-being, don't forget about it. Think about it. It's important for the moment.
Yeah. And then lastly, we're going to talk about physical well-being. And I think we all know the aspects of physical well-being. And this is probably the area that I probably need to work on the hardest. Nutrition, eating right, making sure you're taking in what your body needs. Sleep, I think that's a big one, especially for you as a college student. Making sure you get enough rest has a lot to do with your maintaining balance and your physical well-being, and affects all the other areas of your life. And then exercise. Little things you can do. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park further away. Park over at Putnam and walk to all your classes. Or whatever, just different things. Take a walk during class. There's a nice little area right around this computer lab, and I've been telling myself, walk that. Get up from your desk and walk that a couple times a day. Simple things you can do. Play with your kids. Join an intramural team. We have different activities. Go to the student rec center, play handball. Just all kinds of stuff that you can do to maintain your physical well-being.
My son works at a chemistry plant, Midwest Research. They're doing chemical research, and they have just a little walking track around. And at lunchtime, a lot of them walk around there, and you can do the same thing here on our campus. It's pretty handy. So
with the weather nicer, we can do that more. You can do it even when the weather's not nice. But
and of course, the Civic Center, we had that little
yes.
Video you saw in the Civic Center. So if you have a little bit of time to spend, you could actually go over there for free.
Yep.
And work out there.
So the message here is live a balanced life, even while you're a college student, because this will carry you into your beyond college, and as you get into the workforce and families grow and all those kinds of things. Getting a handle on these things now will help you all the way through life. So just as a reminder, time management, learn to say no. We've talked about that before. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. That's a huge one. Rest. Breathe. Count to 10. Focus on those relationships and find ways to build strong relationships. And realize that you have choices. I think sometimes we forget that we have choices about what we do and how we manage our lives.
Should we show the video?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try to bring up that video, and if the one doesn't work that's at the campus safety site, I have an alternate one that we can show.
Okay. There, in the assignments this week, there's a life stress gauge, just a brief thing to measure the stress in your life. So that's in there, and then we've already talked about that.
So we're just going to go to, is this the Missouri State, the W?
It's our website.
/ campus safety. Did I type everything in there correctly? I think I did. And then this is the video here.
Yes.
Huh? So I'm just going to try to right click and say open in a new window. I don't know if that'll work, but
You have to log into it.
oh, okay. And you did all that and it didn't.
Mm-hmm. Just came up with a blank screen.
I've worked on the campus safety committee with Dr. Herb Lunday, and he does a really good job getting all of this stuff available for us. It's cranking away. It's got a little green bar on there that's moving forward. But
Yeah, that video is not.
it doesn't seem like it's coming up. So we'll use our alternative, which is at Blackboard, and this is a pretty good little video that's kind of similar under course content. I put some stress relievers up there for you guys, but this campus conversations video is kind of similar, so we can try that one and see.
Good.
With the dramatic slowing of the economy, many people are facing tough times and tough choices. Some experts suggest that as the economy continues downward, crime rates may be on an upward swing. Up next, we'll discuss what you can do to keep yourself and your property safe and secure. Stay tuned. Campus Conversations is next.
Welcome to Campus Conversations. I'm Marcus Rosanna.
And I'm Christy Bodenheimer. Every day, the local news broadcasts are full of stories about home invasions, muggings, and worse. Some believe that with unemployment on the rise, we may be looking at an increase in these types of crimes. With us to talk about safety and security both on and off campus are Montgomery College Safety and Security Supervisor for the Germantown campus, Michael Dunn, and Montgomery County Police Community Outreach Officer Marcus Dixon. Welcome to you both. Marcus, I'm going to start with you. Is it true that when there is a downturn in the economy that crime rates go up, and is it true in our particular case now?
Generally speaking, yeah. Crime generally across the board is high. The number of crime right now most prevalent in Montgomery County is property crime, whether it's from a building, a larceny, or more often not from a vehicle, GPSs, iPods, and that thing of nature. Generally, what happens is when the economy goes down, you have more people in need and feeling the pinch. So they go to the illegal means to get whatever they want to do, whether it's pawning items, or keeping it for themselves, or just stealing money.
Talk a little bit about the larceny aspect of it. Just get a little bit more specific about exactly what we're talking about. You mentioned vehicles.
That's the main one. What's happening is kids, and generally kids, but not always, are actually window shopping is what they call it. They'll look into cars and see if there's a GPS, which is the main one, iPods, camera, cell phones, whatever it is, break the window, go in, take it, and leave. And a lot of times, the victims aren't calling because they don't think it's worth it, or they feel ashamed that I left something in plain view. Where before, we would tell people, please lock your doors, and they're doing that more often now. So it's more difficult, but if it's in plain view, we actually arrest people, they tell us, well, if they don't care enough to leave it on the field, we can see it, then that's telling us it's okay for me to take it and actually have that warped sense of reality to that.
Wow. Speaking of iPods and young people, and it always concerns me when I see people walking around, especially as it gets dark out, that they have their headphones on, particularly the earbuds now, and I see that on campus a lot. Is that a danger, and what can you do when you're walking around to protect yourself, I guess, besides taking it off and being aware of your surroundings?
Well, mostly to be aware of your surroundings, which is very important, and you can avoid being a victim of a crime by being aware of your surroundings. If you have the music playing in your ear, you're not going to hear somebody approaching from behind. You're not going to hear when you're crossing the parking lot that somebody might be coming towards you. So it's best not to have those things in your ear, and particularly when you drive. I mean, Marcus can tell you that that's not a very good thing to do. You're not going to hear the sirens, the police cars, fire engines, and things. So there's a potential for danger to yourself and to others.
I would say, if I can piggyback on that, we're talking about the earphones, with the iPod especially, spark pedestrians were hit. That's a whole other subject. But half of the ones where it's actually the pedestrian's at fault, not hearing someone blowing the horn, or not paying attention, looking down, shuffling the iPod, so they're crossing the street, looking down, then noticing the cars or hearing the horn. That's another aspect of it.
So you can save your hearing and yourself by turning things down when you're out and about on the roads.
Absolutely. And then again, it's also, we have a little white earplugs. You can't hear them coming up, and it's actually looking for you, especially in your transit areas with easy access to and from.
Nick, talk a little bit about the crime that you see on campus. I'm sure, again, as Marcus was talking about, it's a lot of larceny. Just talk a little bit about what you've seen here at Montgomery College.
Mostly I see it as opportunistic. The cars that Marcus was talking about, that they did the window shopping. Yes, there is window shopping. In as much as that students don't have the habit of locking their car doors when they got, which is very important to do. But before that, they leave their items sitting on the seat. You do have the iPod, you do have the GPS, you do have any number of things laying there, their phones are there. So by not locking the car door, they're leaving themselves wide open for theft. And that's what we saw pretty much the last part of this year, toward the end of the semester, towards the end of the calendar year, was opportunistic things. And one year we had 3 thefts from us. All of them were from vehicles that were allowed. So the big thing here is hide your stuff, put it away, keep it with you, and lock your car door.
Okay, and can I piggyback on that? What if you actually see somebody going into your car? It could be a dangerous situation.
Again, we have campus security phones all throughout the campus, and the ones that are on the outside of the campuses have blue lights on them. Don't try to take things in your own campus. If you have your cell phone with you, call the police first. They're the first responders there. We defer to them. It doesn't matter because we don't have law enforcement powers of arrest. And then you can call us on our phones, safety phones, security phones. But don't try to take matters in your own hands. Try to get a description of the individual. And if they're pointing to your car, let them know. Whoever you've got them operate on the phone with 911, the description of where the car is located, what safety phones.
This summer I was in a restaurant and I saw a man go into a woman's purse, plain as the nose in my face, and take her wallet. It was so easy, it was unbelievable. And it got me thinking a lot about not only iPods, but what you carry on you and what is the safe way to manage a purse or a backpack so that you don't get yourself in trouble.
Well, actually, one, you want to keep it closed, zip, lock, whatever, because it's kind of like the game show, what's behind door number 1. If you know what's behind there, there's my risk principle. Is it worth it or not? If you have no idea, i.e. something with a value not in plain view, then I know it's not worth my time to try to go in there, there may be nothing of value. One is concealment. Also, like you said, being aware of your surroundings. Become a tourist. You can go into another country, just have your purse open or nonchalantly, and then go through for pickpocket. Just be more cognizant. If I'm the person, I put the purse between my legs. If I'm at a restaurant, have a conversation, you can see people coming and going, and to do some kind of furtive action. Whenever somebody go out of their way to commit a crime, that's when they're most likely to get caught or noticed. If it's casual, it's far more difficult to do so.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will say a couple things about shots fired, which is another topic, but I have been on these meetings when we've had the sheriff's department in and the police in, and they say if you hear shots fired, it'll just sound like a firecracker. It'll sound like pop, pop, pop. It'll sound like a firecracker. And the first thing that you should do is try to secure your room, and that is you lock the door or get the teacher to lock the door and then call 911, alert people as quickly as possible. The reason that you close the door, a lot of people think, well, if they break the door down, then you're like fish in a barrel. But on the other hand, the police said that in 95% of the cases, these people are crazy and they won't take the time. If the door is locked, they'll go to the next room. All they want is a live target. So they'll go to the place where the live target is the easiest to find. So if you make your classroom more secure, it's less likely that you'll get shot. And other than that, it's there's no one size fits all or one rule as to what to do. Some people say put something in front of you and the whole class should try to overtake, but I don't know that that's, it's pretty it's difficult to say after that. But calling the authorities and locking the doors are the two main things that law enforcement has told us to do.
Not in.
Yeah. Do I have time to give them a critical thinking
Yes.
exercise?
Yes.
You guys can win a candy bar if you do this. This is called thinking outside the box. It's just a simple grid with 9 dots on it, and your task. The first one to complete it gets the first choice of candy. Second one to complete it gets the second choice of candy. Your task is to draw 4 straight lines through the center of all of these objects without removing your pencil from the paper. And the instructions are on here that say exactly that. So good luck. Try to think outside the box. And
So you're going to have everybody start at the same time, right?
they can start as soon as they get it. I don't think they'll 30 seconds won't give them that much of an advantage. Whole thing, I want this collected. And we're going to get them all graded. So everybody has one? In about 5 minutes, I'll actually put the answer on the board up here, and this will be something that you can use to amuse your friends. I don't have a marker in here. Oh, yes, we do. Those are 5 lines, are they not? Do I see 5?
Yeah.
So we need 4.
Okay.
It's a good try. It's a very, very, very good try. We actually have another one, but I'll just let you guys take the second one home, and we'll reveal the answers to the second one in our next classroom class. You guys want a hint? Remember that I said think outside the box. Boy, that'll be a first. Not a squiggly line, though. It has to be big. It has to be 4 straight lines. 4 straight lines. students in my other class went on their computers and found the answer. And they Googled it. That wasn't quite fair, but it was thinking outside the box. Andrew, how you doing? Close?
No.
Jonathan? So? You got? Are you on the verge there?
No, I'm just getting closer to the idea. I know I'm getting closer, I just don't know what the answer is.
This is one of those that when you see the answer, you go, ah.
That's what happened to me.
I knew that.
One more minute. As soon as the second hand gets to the 12, I'm going to reveal the answer and pass out some candy.
Nope.
I see Elizabeth. She's got her pencil outside the box. She's got the idea. It's just a pattern. You're the closest so far, Elizabeth. It's just a pattern. Okay, so here's the pattern. Are you guys ready for this? You have to go straight up outside the box, come back across these dots, across this way, and then up like an arrow. This one is actually, if they were equally spaced, that would come up. So that's actually it. You go outside the box, straight down, straight across, and back up. So you should be able to actually do that, and it'll come out on here. Oh, actually, I think that's what I was actually off here. This one was actually supposed to go through there and then as long as it's four, just four straight lines. All right, so Elizabeth, she doesn't get chocolate, but she can have Lifesaver. So we have Lifesaver for Elizabeth. And Jonathan, do you like Butterfinger or Lifesaver? Lifesaver? Well, then the rest of you don't get a choice. You get Butterfinger. Good work. Are you guys having trouble with anything? Any questions about anything on campus at all? Not just the class, but having trouble with any of your teachers, any of your courses? And if it's sort of a private thing, you can come and see us after class, but we'll be glad to try to resolve those kind of issues for you. This is for your sons. They'll have to split it.
Okay, I'm going to send them to you after they eat it.
Yeah, with the sugar high.
Yes. Yesterday was Austin's birthday and he snuck 2 cupcakes. So I stopped by McDonald's Playland to let him wear it off.
Here's the lessons learned from the one that you just did. It's just a little thing that talks about thinking outside the box. And also, here's another creativity exercise that you can just do for fun on your own, and we can talk about it the next time we get together. Okay, well come and visit us after class if you like. Thanks for being here. Next week your assignment is online and it's already posted. I forget what it is. I think it's online, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And then the week after that, spring break.
The week after that, spring break, yay.
And then we'll be back.
Then we'll be back in class after spring break.
I emailed you the assignment, the stress assignment, because the iPad won't let me post it to Blackboard,
Okay.
so I just emailed it when I printed it.
That works perfectly. Stay here for a minute. We want to see you. Everybody else is free to come and talk to us as well. Well,
Mind if I go?
not at all.
I need to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good trip.
We're looking
I know
at-
we're